So 2020 is almost here, and it's a great time for you guys to start thinking about how you can improve your English next year. In this video, I'm going to share my top 5 tricks and tips you can use to get fluent in English in 2020. But hey, if we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Luke and I help people just like you master the English language. So if you want more videos just like this one, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Okay, so let's dive into my top tricks and tips. My first tip to help you improve your English in 2020 is to learn English through listening. Most English learners around the world learn English just through reading. But of course, written English and spoken English are really different. And this causes many problems for students just like you. So take a look at this example. In written English, it's broken up really simply. It says, I have been to India. Easy. But listen to how native speakers like me speak this sentence. I've been to India. I've been to India. So what happens is, I have been becomes I've been, and to becomes to. So put it together, I've been to India. Here's another example. In written English, this says, I will have been working here for 2 years. Again, really simple, really clear. All the words are separated by spaces, so it's very easy to understand the grammar. But again, listen to how native speakers speak this. I'll have been working here for 2 years. I'll have been working here for 2 years. So here, I will have been gets connected and it becomes I'll have been. I'll have been working here for 2 years.
I'll have been on every continent.
So these are 2 examples of how learning English through listening can 1. Help you with your speaking and 2. Help you understand native speakers better. The second thing you should be doing in 2020 to master English is using the free English learning applications you can get on your phone. These English applications are a fantastic way to help you improve your English because you can use them when you're doing anything, like taking the bus, on the tube, or even when you have 5 minutes for lunch or something. There are 2 really amazing English learning applications that I highly recommend you use on a daily basis. They are Cake English and Duolingo. The Cake English app is a fantastic way to learn natural English because it does a few things really well. Firstly, it takes small clips from TV shows, movies, or other YouTube channels and breaks them up and teaches you the expressions, the grammar, or the vocabulary in those clips. It's a great way to learn natural English. The second good thing about Cake is that it has really short English lessons from teachers, just like me actually, I'm on here. And these teachers teach you really cool expressions, grammar, pronunciation in really short and easily digestible videos. And lastly, you can actually record your voice on the Cake app to see your progress. It's awesome, download it, it's totally free. Link is below. Duolingo is a bit different than Cake. In Duolingo, you actually have to complete different activities by typing in the correct grammar or typing in the correct vocabulary for a sentence. It's a really good way to practice your language accuracy. And the more you do it, the better you get, and you actually go up through levels so you can see your progress really easily. I use Duolingo every day to practice my Korean and French, and I think it's helped me so much. I couldn't recommend this free application anymore. So again, download it, the link is below, and practice learning English on your phone for free in 2020. So before I move on to tip number 3, what are some of your English learning tips? Let me know below in the comments. Tip number 3 is to balance your time so you can spend 50% learning new things about English, new vocabulary, new grammar, etc. But then you spend the other 50% practicing what you've learned. I've met so many students who tell me, Luke, I know a lot about English, but I still can't speak it. This is because those students spend too much time learning new things about English and not enough time actually practicing the things they know. English is of course a language, and languages need to be practiced in order to be able to speak or write well. But what if you live in a country where you can't practice English on a daily basis because it's not used daily? Well, here are some things you can do. So the first thing you can do is find an English-speaking group in your town or city. Many cities have this, and these groups usually meet once or twice a week just to practice speaking English. If there's not one in your city, I recommend you take the initiative and make one. There are many people just like you in your city, I'm sure, who want to practice speaking English. So go ahead, get online and make a group and invite lots of people. The next thing is to keep a verbal diary. Now, a verbal diary is just like a normal diary, but instead of writing, you speak. So you can record yourself on your smartphone, and you can record things about your day or your opinions on different topics. You can also listen back and check your progress or find areas that you need to improve. You can also find an online English tutor, and that's my next tip for this video. So it's almost 2020 and the internet has completely changed the way that students like you can learn English. In the past, it was quite difficult to find a native English speaker to talk to. If you could find one, it was probably in a classroom with 15 other students, so it was difficult to get that one-on-one communication. Luckily now we're almost in 2020 and there are lots and lots of websites which connect students like you with native English teachers. My favorite is iTalki.com. On iTalki, you can choose between a professional teacher or a community tutor. Professional teachers are teachers with real teaching qualifications, so they are experts in English language teaching. They can help you with a lot of things such as your grammar, your vocabulary, and importantly, your pronunciation. The downside with iTalki is that it's not free, but it's not that expensive either. You can find a good professional teacher for around $10 per hour, so it's not too expensive. The second option is community tutors. Now these guys don't have teaching qualifications, but they are native speakers of English, so you can still use them to have daily conversations and to improve your speaking fluency. The community tutors are a little bit cheaper. They usually cost around $7 to $15 per hour. So if you're looking to practice speaking with a native speaker and don't mind spending a little bit of money, I highly recommend italki.com. Check it out, the link is in the description below. And the fifth thing I want you to focus on in 2020 is building your vocabulary. I know it's not a surprise that vocabulary is important to learn, but deciding what exactly to learn is important and quite difficult. This is because it really depends on what your need is as an English learner. So for example, if you want to go and study at a university in England, then you need a different set of vocabulary than someone that just wants to speak general English. So let's break it down. If you want to study in a university in the UK or in America or Australia, or if you want to get an IELTS 8.0, or if you want to use English in a professional situation, then it's important to learn academic English vocabulary. So you need vocabulary that can be used to describe situations, like describing a graph or describing a chart, vocabulary for giving presentations, or formal and high register vocabulary you can use in a professional and academic situation. To learn all the professional and academic vocabulary you need, I highly recommend the book Academic Vocabulary in Use. This book covers high register, formal academic vocabulary in different situations and gives you lots of practice with it. You can find a link to this book below in the description. But if you want to just learn more casual English, then you need to focus on high frequency words. These are words that are very common in daily English. These words are not too difficult, but it's important to become very familiar with them. You also need to study vocabulary that's very common in spoken casual English. So phrasal verbs, idioms, and colloquial expressions are things you need to look at. I have many videos covering this type of vocabulary, so check out my YouTube channel for this. Another area of vocabulary every student should focus on is collocations. Collocations are words that go together often. For example, you sit an exam or take an exam. You give a presentation and you voice your opinion. These are examples of collocations. This is a book I use with my students all the time, and it's called English Collocations in Use. This book covers all different types of situations with the most common collocations for that situation. I highly recommend it. Again, the link is below in the description. So those are my 5 tips. Are any of these tips helpful for you? I hope so. Let me know below in the comments. Also, do you have any other special English learning tips and tricks for 2020? Let us all know them in the comment section below. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.